worth. I know that you're thinking you've heard this before. I don't know how to say it, so I'm just gonna say it. Yeah. Fear you don't own me. There ain't no room in this story, and I ain't got time for you telling me what I'm not. Like you know me, well guess what? I know who I am. I know I'm strong, and I am free. Got my own identity. So fear you will never be welcome here. Take a minute, let it settle in. You probably never saw it coming. Something's gotta give, so I give up you. Oh, there's no room for you here, yeah, I've had enough. The no vacancy sign on my heart is lit up. In case you didn't hear it, here it is again. Oh, fear you don't own me. There ain't no room in this story, and I ain't got time for you telling me what I'm not. Like you know me, well guess what? I know who I am. I know I'm strong, and I am free. Got my own identity. So fear you will never be welcome here. Is there anybody out there just like me? Anybody out there? Anybody needing fear to leave? Oh yeah. If you don't know how to say it, sing along with me. Sing fear you don't own me. There ain't no room in this story, and I ain't got time for you telling me what I'm not. Like you know me, well guess what? I know who I am. I know I'm strong, brave, and I am free. Got my own identity. So fear you will never be welcome here. Whoa. Goodbye, goodbye, fear. Whoa. You will never be welcome here.
Good evening, New Season Gospel FM family. Fear you will never be welcome here. You do not own me, fear. Good evening. I hope you guys are doing well. Thank you so much for joining me this evening on Faith Matters with me, Mnena. It is always a pleasure to come on and just spend the evening with you reflecting on our faith walk, on our journey. I hope that your week is off to a great start, because mine's been off to a great start. I can't complain. God is faithful. I am so happy and thankful for every blessing. And I think coming off of Sunday, off of the weekend, when we get to worship and do all of that good stuff with other brothers and sisters in church, just gets me all pumped up for the week. So my week has been off to a great start. I want to say thank you to all those who have joined in on 89.1 FM. Thank you so much to those who have come on YouTube to join us. Thank you, thank you. NewSeasonFM.com. I want to say thank you so much for just coming on this evening. And of course, for the family in the room, my Facebook family and friends, thank you, thank you, thank you. Good evening, Nigel. Good evening, Sister Laurel. Hey, yay. I see Akil somewhere there. Hi, Akil. I hope you're doing well. So thank you so much for coming to spend the evening with me as I reflect on our faith walk. So what is Faith Matters all about? If this is the first time you're coming on, Faith Matters is a platform where we reflect, or I reflect, I do most of the talking on what this faith walk is all about, what this journey is all about, because many times when we say we're Christians, people think it's a walk in the park, that everything is all rosy, everything's all fine and dandy, and we have no struggles at all. But that's not the case. If anything, we have a lot of struggles. And we get all of those attacks all the time. But how do we navigate? How do we carry on our daily lives? You know, how are we being Christ's hands and feet, just shining His light brightly for others to see? That's what we reflect on. You know, I vent. I don't cry a lot, but I do a lot of venting. I do a lot of sharing from my personal reflection pages. Just how I deal with daily issues, because we're called to be Christians 24/7. It's not just a Sunday thing. It's not, it's not slippers or shoes that we slip into and then slip out of. No, it's a 24/7 deal, guys. It is every single day of our lives, every minute, every second, that we are called to be Christ-like, to be Christian. And Nigel, my weekend was great. I hope yours was as well. So that's what Faith Matters is all about. Before I jump right into it, I just want to take the time to just remind us that we are a listener-supported radio station, and it's because of your generosity that we are able to do what we do, that we can come on the air and hopefully be a blessing to everyone out there. We can't do this on our own. It's because of your support that we're able to do this. So I want to say thank you to all those who've supported our supporters out there. Thank you so much for your generosity. If you haven't supported, if you've been thinking about it, I'd like to encourage you today to just prayerfully consider being a supporter of the station today. Again, it is because of your generosity that we can do this, that we can actually bring good programming like this for you, uninterrupted, just good stuff. So please support today. There's different ways that you can do so. If you are listening on the airwaves, you could do so through Zelle. The number for Zelle is 954-536-1821. Again, that's 954-536-1821. If you going to do Zelle, that's the number for Zelle. For Cash App, it's the $ New Season WC. That's the $ New Season WC. You can also go straight to our website, which is newseasonfm.com, newseasonfm.com. You go straight to the website. There's a give/donate button right there. Just click on it. It takes you straight to where you can give. It's so easy. If any of those don't work for you, you say, I'm not into all of those stuff, you can simply write us a check and mail it out to us here. Make the check out to New Season Worship Center and mail it out to 4660 North University Drive, Lauderhill, Florida 33351. Again, that's 4660 North University Drive, Lauderhill, Florida 33351 or 33319. Either of those zip codes will get the check straight to us. So please be, if you haven't supported, consider being a supporter today and just join us in building God's kingdom through this means. So again, thank you so much for coming on this evening to spend the time with me on this reflection evening. Again, this is Faith Matters with me, Imnena, your host. So jumping right into it, it is the 298th day of the year, guys. 298 days. Where has the time gone? We only have 67 days left in 2021. I can't believe it. It almost started as if it wasn't moving, but here we are, 67 days. I feel as though that every time we get to this point in the year, it's like, whoa, I I did not know that time was flying. It seems to be like an every time or every year thing. Like we're always so surprised when the year, when we're almost at the end of the year. Like, where did the time fly? So, but anyways, we only have 67 days left. Good morning, good evening, Mommy Jasmine. How are you today? And so, where are you? Again, going into my usual spiel before I get into, everything. Good morning. Why am I saying good morning? I think I'm getting used to coming in the morning, so now good morning is like stuck in my head. No. Good evening, Sister Marcia. Thank you for coming on. I hope you're doing well. How are you holding up with the family and all that's going on? We're still praying for you. So thank you for coming on tonight. And so we keep wondering where the time has gone, so we only have 67 days left. So remember my unusual spiel. Where are you at this point in the year? Where are you? What do you have to show? Hopefully you have something to show. I hope you've got something to show, something to say, okay, at the end of this year or at this point in the year, I have accomplished this. I can check this off. Even if I haven't accomplished it, I could say I took a step towards accomplishing something. I did something major today. And oh my goodness, I should be excited about that. Just saying that actually is really exciting for me, because I accomplished something today that I've been so fearful of doing. And I'm so excited about it. I'm kind of still scared and nervous about it, but I'm super excited about it. And I'm going to tell you guys about it in a bit. But where are you? Where are you at? You need to take stock. It's really important that we take stock of where we're at. I always say, I share it all the time here, I am not at the same level where I was when January came. No, I am not, especially spiritually, because I have grown. I have grown spiritually, and I'm hoping that it's the same for you. If you have not grown, if you've not moved an inch from when the year started, if at this point you have not moved, you can't say, I've grown in my faith walk. If you can't say that, there's a problem. So I think you should really take stock. It's always good to just take stock. I say all the time, don't just constantly wait for those humongous and gigantic goals that you set for yourself to be accomplished before you can actually check them off or glory in them. It's those little steps that you can just start taking pride in and start saying, hey, I did this. I was able to do this. That way you're able to just little by little just chip away at that humongous thing that you're trying to accomplish. And it's something that, when you sit down, you can take pride in it and be like, I did this. I actually did this. And it's a good feeling to have. You really, I'm pretty sure if you were to sit down and just take a pen and paper and take stock, you would realize that there's just so much that you've accomplished that you didn't even know that you accomplished. So you need to start taking stock right now. You don't want to get to the end of the year and be like, I've not really accomplished anything. And so I think I'm going to do something. Maybe we should do this at the end of the year. I'm going to think it out more and probably present it next week. The thought just came into my mind. But how about maybe when we get to the end of the year to I don't know if I should say a testimony kind of, Monday or something, but just sharing our victories of the year or our accomplishments or those steps that we thought we would never take, or those things that we thought we would never accomplish. I'll think it out some more, but let's do something like that. That way we're able to, say, hey, I didn't realize that, but I did something good. So that's just my spiel again, because we are only 67 days, we only have 67 days left in the year. So get to it, people, get to it. You want to do something, you want to say, hey, when the year comes to an end, you'll be like, this is what I did in 2021. So let's do that. Jumping right into, good evening, Brother Philip, how are you? Jumping into my holidays, of course, I'm going to breeze through these holidays today because there are not a lot of fun ones today. Or even, well, there's just one or two that are important, but I'm going to breeze through them today, and I'm glad Akil is on here because I see there's a bunch of cat stuff on here. But today is Accountant Carrier Day. So for those accountants out there, if you are an accountant, Today was a day to just really recognize you, to say thank you for all that you do. And I'm calling out Pastor Henry and her team, all of those accountants out there. If you do any accounting stuff, we appreciate you. I appreciate you because I know that I would never, ever, ever be able to do any accounting. I can't take care of my taxes without my accountant. So thank you to our accountants out there. It's National Artist Day. So for all those artists out there, it's your day. A big shout out to my little sister. She has no idea. She's probably not even watching, but she's probably going to watch at some point. She's a great artist, so I just want to say I love her and I appreciate her. Fidelia, you're not going to watch this, but I'm going to send it to you. I'm sending you love, that I appreciate you recognizing National All Artists today. It's Cartoons Against Crime Day. I love this. In some ways, I love this because now I know in the morning we're talking about stuff that's on the TV now for our kids to watch, and it's like, so not, yeah, it's a no-no, you know. It was interesting to hear Pastor and Yeye talking this morning about it, and I was like, yep, I know, I've got 2 little ones, so I know exactly what's out there, and it's nothing to write home about. So Cartoons Against Crime Day, I think I'm up for that. It's Greasy Food Day, so I don't know, those of you who like greasy food, today was like kind of like the day to splurge some. I'm not too big on, I don't know if I'm big on I don't eat healthy, so but I don't know if I would fall under the category of a greasy food lover. But anyways, it's Greasy Food Day. It's I Care About You Day. I love this one. It's a day where you get to tell folks that you care. Like, don't go saying I care about you when you don't. Don't go lying, because God's not going to be happy with you. I Care About You Day. It's World Pasta Day. It's World Pizza Maker Day. So thank you to all those pizza makers out there. We appreciate you, because of your gift and your handiwork. We're able to enjoy great pizzas. Tomorrow, Tuesday, it's Day of the Deployed. So a shout out to all those who are serving, all those who are giving up, who've taken on the task of just fighting for our country and are out there. It's Mincemeat Day. I don't know why that has a day. It's Mule Day. This is cute, actually. It was like, I think every animal has a day. So the mule is like, I want a day too. So it's Mule Day. It's National Pumpkin Day. National Pumpkin Day. Wednesday is Cranky Coworker Day. So if you have a cranky coworker out there, I think Wednesday will be the day to just really, really get on their nerves. So it's Cranky Coworker Day. So shout out, you'll be like, you make a sign and say, hey, I love you, cranky coworker. Something like that. Something really weird and stupid. But it's Cranky Coworker Day. So if you have a coworker that's always cranky, try to cheer them up on Wednesday. It's Lung Health Day. I think that's really important. Just raising awareness for our lung health. It's Black Cat Day. I'm not sure. Akil, is Gigi black? I don't know, but it's Black Cat Day. Every time I see cat holidays, I'm like, really, cat again? And I think Akil. So Akil, it's Gigi Day. I don't know if Gigi's black, but it's Black Cat Day on Wednesday. So go spoil Gigi some. It's World Occupational Therapy Day. It's World Day of Audiovisual Heritage. It's it's my day. No, it's not. It is Thursday. Wait, hold on. Is my boss just calling me cranky? I don't know which one he's saying it's my day. I hope not. But I'm going to take it as my day. I'm going to say this Wednesday is Nina's day. Thursday is National Chocolate Day. It's Plush Animal Lovers Day. It's International Animation Day and Wild Foods Day. We also have Bandana Day on Friday. I don't know who thinks about these holidays, like how they come up with some crazy stuff like that. Breadsticks Day, oh my goodness. National Cat Day. I don't know why we need to have a ton of cat holidays. I have no idea because we just had the black cat on Wednesday. Now, well, okay, so Gigi isn't black, but I guess you can celebrate her on Friday because apparently somebody loves cats and they decided to just have cat holidays like every single, like, if I feel like every time I call this holidays I'm calling cats. I'm not hating on Gigi, I just don't like cats, and I'm not ashamed to say it. I'm not a cat person. No, no, no. I do not like cats. Not a cat person. Never been, never will be a cat person. So we're just gonna leave it at that. Moving along. It's world it's World Psoriasis Day. It's World Stroke Day. Just bringing awareness to all of those health conditions. I'm not hating. I'm just being honest. I don't like cats. So welcome to the show. If you're just joining in, welcome, Pastor Steve. Thank you for joining me this evening on Faith Matters. If you're just joining, this is Faith Matters with Abena. That's just a platform where we reflect and just talk about our faith walk. And I'll be sharing just a few stuff from my reflection pages this evening with you. How are we being Christ's hands and feet every single day? Oh, Sister Marsha, you're a cat person too? Oh, is that a dog I see? I'm a dog lover, so we're just going to leave it at that. So, moving along, before I go, I was just talking about, accomplishing stuff that we are... I was talking about stuff, accomplishing things that we never thought we would be able to do or have been, just really fearful of doing. And I did something today that I've been holding back on and just really scared to do. Yes, yes, I love dogs too, Brother Philip. No, Pastor, no, we're not doing cats here. So anyways, I've been working on a project. Okay, if you're listening on the FM dial and you're not watching, or you're listening on newseasonfm.com and you're wondering why I can't get through a sentence without, just focusing and not laughing, it's because my family in the room are killing me with their comments here. And so I'm just going to move along. I'm going to ignore them right now and focus here. My kids are too lazy to walk down. Okay. Yeah. I would think kids would do that. Like I would, if I were a cat person or not, I would probably be not. Yeah, because I don't like walking dogs. I love dogs, but I'm not like the one that wants to walk them. I don't know if that's bad, but yeah, I dog sat one time, but that's a story for another day. So when you're fearful, I think for me, and this is coming from experience and things that I've been through and how I've, handled fear or lack thereof handling fear. My answer to just attacking, that's quote unquote, attacking your fear is to just do it. Just do it. Because you never know, if you don't do something, if something's on your heart to do and you don't do it, you're always going to be in that loop, in that space where you're like, oh, I wish I had, or I wonder if I had done this, what would have happened? You're going to constantly be questioning yourself and wondering what would have been if you had done something, if you had taken that leap, if you had just done it. And so today I did something. You guys know with the CD that just came out. I was sharing with you that it was done over a year ago, almost 2 years actually. But it only took I don't know what happened, but I'm like thinking of myself, well, this is better. Well, like I said, Pastor whipped me into shape to putting it out there. And so that was like 2 years and, that was completed, and I just brought it out to light now. I also had a book that I had been working on for like a long, long time, and my book was ready for a long time as well. And I didn't do anything with it. I was just sitting on it. And for me, I think it was just the fear of the unknown, fear of, is it really good enough? Is it enough? Is it, I really wanted, I wanted to be perfect. I don't want somebody to see something in there or hear something in there and say, oh God, there's a lot of mistakes in there, or there's just a lot in there that shouldn't be there, or there's a bunch of stuff that's missing. So there was just so many fears there that were just holding me back from doing, from really promoting it, from doing what I needed to do. And also, there's just like a lot of projects that I've been working on, that I've been doing like behind the scenes, like in my room, just on my own. I've been working on books. I've been working on, creating my business. I registered a business that, for a whole year or a year and a half, never did anything with it because I was just too fearful. But this morning I woke up like I'm always up early, like at 3 a.m. anyway. So I woke up and I'm thinking to myself, I have to just really, I have to do it. I just need to do it. So I said to myself, I'm going to officially launch the CD, the book, and my businesses next Sunday. And I just wrote like a really short post, and I just, did everything without even thinking. Because one thing with me is if I start to ask myself questions or question certain things or give myself a minute to think, I will talk myself out of it. And so I didn't think, like, I'm doing it and I'm like, I don't care if I don't care if there's any grammatical errors here, because that's one thing with me. I'm like, oh my gosh, I need to really double check. Are there any typos? Is my grammar correct? I'm that kind of person. And I'm like, I don't care. I'm just gonna, and I just kept typing. I'm like writing everything down. Like, I'm not thinking about anything. And so I posted it, because when you post it and when you say something, when you open your mouth and announce it, it's done. And so I did that. So it was a major accomplishment for me today to actually jump over that hurdle of fear, to do something like that. And so I wanted to share that with you, to say that, many times, we let fear cripple us. We let fear rule. We let fear just paralyze us and not let us do anything. And the time's going, time's not waiting for anyone. There's so many people out there, who need to hear what you have to say, or need, will benefit from the gifts that you have. And I always know it's not about, not tooting my own horn or bragging or anything, but I know that God has blessed me with so many gifts. Like, it's sometimes I sit down and I'm like, Lord, thank you so much for the many gifts, creative gifts that you've given me, but I've never really, used them to do much, to accomplish much. I haven't really done a lot of stuff with it. In my head, I've done a ton, but to actually put stuff out there, or to actually step out and really help with my gifts, I haven't really done that. And so today I woke up and I was like, you know what? That's it. Fear, you're not going to control me. Fear is a liar, and I'm going to just go ahead and do it. And what I realized, what, along my journey is, I need to stop overthinking things, because things are not going to be perfect. It's never going to be perfect. But once you start something, you can always work out the kinks along the way, and that's the most important thing. Because I look back and I'm like, I don't want to get to that point where I'll be like, okay, what have I accomplished? What would this have been like if I had done this? I don't want someone else 2 years, 3 years down the line to do something, and then I sit back, I'm like, oh my gosh, I wanted to do that. I never did. Yeah, well, I wanted to do, but you never did, so someone else did it. So I'm just sharing that with you tonight, just hopefully to encourage you. Hopefully that maybe there's someone out there who's probably, just like me, in the same, zone of, fear. You're super shy, and I am super shy too, by the way, guys, if you don't know. But maybe you're like me and you don't want to do stuff. You're just too fearful to do anything because of, it could be several reasons, what people think, what people may say. And because of that, you don't do what you're supposed to do, or what God has called you here to do and has laid upon your heart to do. And so you need to recognize that you're not here to please people. And there's some people who, no matter what you do, whatever you say, you can try everything you want to do, but they're always going to find something. Just bringing it back a little, not being too broad in terms of, in my case, like I'm always like, I'm so conscious of typos and grammatical errors. So I say I can go over a paper like 1,000 times, but there's always going to be someone out there, and there's always going to be something, like there could be, I don't know, like the editor or someone could make a mistake somewhere and I could miss it, but there's always going to be someone out there who will find like a grammatical error that, oh, that comma was not supposed to be there, or that should have been a semicolon, and things like that. And so sometimes we have to get over that hurdle and just say, you know what? I don't care. I'm just going to do what God has placed on my heart to do. And that's it. As long as I'm going, as long as I'm in God's will and I'm seeking his face and walking in his path, I'm just going to go ahead and do it. Hi, Sister Crescent. Thank you for coming on. And I thank you so much, Sister Crescent, for your encouragement this evening, because she rightly said, God has not given us a spirit of fear. So we have to constantly remember that we are not, we have not been given a spirit of fear. So whatever it is, I don't know who's out there who needs to hear this tonight, but fear is a liar. Do not let fear cripple you. Whatever it is that the Lord has laid upon your heart to do, go ahead and do it. It doesn't matter. Work out the kinks along the way. You don't have to you don't need to have it all together. You don't need to have all the resources. As long as you have that one idea and you start, all the other things will just fall in line, and he will provide for you. Just step in the water and the water will part. You can't stand on the shore and expect the water to part. You have to step in. And so I did that today. And I'm super, super proud of myself, and I'm so excited about it. I'm still fearful, but I'm not letting it cripple me, because I know that God's hand is on it, and God is definitely going to provide and see me through it. And I have a great team around me. I have a great support system, especially here. My boss is supportive. I just have like an amazing support system here, that I know that there's no way I'm gonna fail. And even if I do make mistakes, I'm definitely going to learn from them, and so that's what we should take away tonight. If you're out there and you're thinking the same thing, especially if as we're getting to the end of the year and you're like, okay, I should do this, but you haven't started, I would say just do it. It got 3 words for you: just do it. Just do it. That's all you have to do. Just do it. Because when you start it, it will all fall in line. So that's that's one word of encouragement I have for you tonight. I wanted to share that piece of good news for you. I'll have more information about the event at the end, and then tell you how we can go about it. So that's my spiel on fear. So how are we focusing on God? I want to share one of my reflection pages this morning that I did, and I was reflecting on Hebrews 7-8. So Hebrews 7-8 reads, so as the Holy Spirit says, today if you hear his voice, do not harden your hearts as you did in the rebellion during the time of testing in the wilderness. And so if you read further down, it says, it says, where your ancestors tested and tried me, though for 40 years they saw what I did, that is why I was angry with that generation. I said, their hearts are always going astray, and they have not known my ways. So I declared an oath in my anger, they shall never enter my rest. But my focus on my reflection was actually just based on 7-8, where it says, so as the Holy Spirit said, today if you hear his voice, do not harden your hearts as you did in the rebellion during the time of the testing. So we focused on God. I mean, how are we tuned into God, or do we do we tune him out? Do we tune into God and tune out the world? There's so many distractions and noise around us in our world today, and daily menial tasks and errands can eat up or eat away at us and our time and get us all distracted. So if you hear his voice today, harden not your hearts. So how do you harden your hearts? Many times we're wondering, like, oh, if you say harden, what does it mean to harden our hearts? If you hear his voice today, do not harden your hearts. Do you lie in your beds and wonder, what in the world have I achieved today? Many times I get to the end of the day and I say, oh my gosh, I can't really pinpoint one thing that I have achieved to the end. I do a lot. I do quite a lot, but I can't I can't really pinpoint, this is what I'm proud that I achieved this today, or there's so many things on my list that I want to achieve, but then I end up not achieving all of them. And a lot of times, it's because we find ourselves spinning throughout the day. We find ourselves, just distracted by so many things. But if we trust and we commit and that's why I talk about, I think last week, I talk about it all the time, but last week I mentioned about putting God first. Once you start your day off first with God, and just commit your way to him and everything, for that day, lay it in his hands, your day goes so much better. You accomplish so much more because you're focused on him. So trust him with everything, your day. So if you start your day off with God, you ask him to direct you, what does he require of me today? Have a conversation with God and tell him, God, this is my list. This is my to-do list for today. But I don't want to go by my to-do list. If this list looks good to you, if this is great for you, if you think this is awesome, Lord, just help me to accomplish the things that are on this list according to your will. If it's in your will, let me accomplish all that I need to accomplish today. So throughout the day, the Lord speaks to us. He's nudging us. He's whispering in our ears. But again, are we tuned in or we're tuned out? There's so many distractions that come at us. The media, just so much. There's so much noise out there. We have so many errands that we're running and so many activities that we're doing that we tend to not hear when the Spirit is speaking to us. We're not attentive to this to the Spirit or to God's promptings. We're too distracted by the noise. We don't hear him. We fail to hear him. So, focus on God today. If you hear his voice, harden not your hearts. How is it that, how can our hearts be hardened? Our hearts can be hardened one way, or some ways that our hearts could be hardened are through our grumblings. Our grumbling and complaining. We're complaining about the situation that we're in, whatever circumstances we're in. We're complaining about that, what's going on with us in that particular time, that we cannot hear what he's saying to us. We cannot hear him speaking to us, telling us, or trying to walk us through whatever situation we're in, because we are so focused on that situation that we're in. We're trapped in that situation, thereby hardening our hearts and not hearing him. And I'm guilty of this, I tell you. I would be the first one to raise my hand up when they start to ask, who's guilty of, hardening their hearts? I am, because I know that I get distracted by things around. And it just goes to show how important it is for us to just really, really focus on him, for us to put our day, in his hands, for us to ask him to guide our path and help us along the journey, and to just go down that list, that checklist that we have, So will you listen to the world, or will you listen to the world, or will you listen to the creator of the world? It's our choice. It's a choice that we have to make. You can either listen to the world, listen to the noise that's around you, or you can listen to the creator of the world. And how do you listen to him? By paying attention, by being in tune with him. You start your day off right. Throughout the day, you continually, praying in the spirit. You're continually just checking in, say if you have to do anything, you're constantly just making sure that you're constantly making sure that everything that you're doing is in line with with his will. So it's really important. So that's a question you have to ask yourself. Will you listen to the world, or will you listen to the creator of the world? So if today you hear his voice, harden not your hearts. Soften your hearts towards him, towards his voice. And when you hear him, you will be able to say, Lord, I am listening. Speak, Lord, I am listening. Are you able to, in the midst of, your work, or in the midst of a situation that you're in, to say, Lord, even though I'm surrounded by all of this, that I am still in tune with you? So we need to ask the Lord to constantly help us to be alert to the Spirit. And so that's one part of the reflection I wanted to share. The other part that I wanted to share with you tonight was another reflection that I did early this week on Matthew 24:42-51, and that said, it's just talk about being ready, being ready all the time. We have to be ready. We got to be ready. I don't think anybody, I don't know about you, but I don't like to be taken unawares. I don't, I want to know. I don't like being blindsided. I don't think anybody likes being blindsided. But Matthew 24:42, I'm going to read part of it, and it says, therefore, keep watch, because you do not know on what day your Lord will come. But understand this, if the owner of the house had known at what time of night the thief was coming, he would have kept watch and would not have let his house be broken into. So also, you must be ready, because the Son of Man will come at an hour you do not expect. He will come at an hour you do not expect. So who then is faithful, and who then is the faithful and wise servant? Who then is the faithful and wise servant whom the master has put in charge of the servants in his household to give them their food at the proper time? It will be good for that servant whose master finds him doing so when he returns. Truly I tell you, he will put him in charge of all his possessions. But suppose that servant is wicked and says to himself, my master is staying away for a long time. And he then begins to beat his fellow servants and to eat and drink with drunkards. The master of the servant will come on a day when he does not expect, and at an hour he is not aware of. He will cut him to pieces and assign him to a place with the hypocrites, where there will be weeping and gnashing of teeth. So you do not want to be blindsided. You do not want to be caught off guard. As Christians, like I said earlier, being blindsided is no fun. I don't know if it's fun for you. It's not fun for me. I don't think anyone enjoys it. I don't like getting caught off guard. Like I said, I like to be prepared, especially when it comes to our spiritual walk, our faith journey. We should always be prepared. Unexpected surprises are particularly worrisome. If we become blindsided, especially in our faith, especially when it comes to spiritual matters and the afterlife, we will have no one to blame but ourselves, because Christ has given us many adequate warning, just be ready, be prepared, stand guard, stay watch, be watchful, so neither death nor his coming in glory to judge humanity should catch us off guard. It should not catch us off guard. We should always be prepared. We should always be prepared. And the key to preparedness lies in his teachings to his disciples, when he said to them, watch and pray. And this applies to all of us. We all have to watch and pray. We all have to watch and pray. Are you that servant who is doing the right thing when he's not here? Are you that servant, or are you that wicked one who's like, okay, my boss isn't here, so I'm just going to go ahead and do whatever I want? You know, who are you? Which of the servants are you? I want to be the one who, even in the absence of the master, is doing the right thing, is doing what is required of me, because when he does return, I would not be caught off guard. I would still be caught doing what I'm supposed to do. I will be ready. But I definitely don't want to be that guy who's being wicked, and who's not doing what he's being told to do, or performing his duties. And then the master comes. I don't want to be in that guy's shoes. That's for sure. So which servant are you? We have to be mindful. We have to watch and pray. We have to be. Don't be caught off guard, because we've been given, and we're constantly being given that we're constantly being admonished to be prepared, to watch and pray, to just be faithful in what we're doing as we live our lives daily. So imagine Jesus's joy in welcoming, one of his servants and saying, "Oh, welcome, good and faithful servant." Imagine that, when we all die and go to heaven, we'll hear, "Welcome home, good and faithful servant." He said that he will sit us down and serve us dinner. Yeah, well, that's just me paraphrasing there. But he did say he will serve, like we will be there with him. That beautiful image should remind us that, the hard work of being faithful, it's important to be faithful in what you do, in everything that you do. As we're all here, we need to remember to be faithful in whatever tasks that we're given, however small or menial you think the task you're given is. You have to be faithful in it. You need to work hard. More than anything, it points us to, just doing what Christ has called us to do. Points us to God's love, to his teaching and his calling for us. So after all that the Lord has done for us, what else would we rather do than to give Christ the joy of our faithfulness? When you think about everything that he has done, when you think about everything that he has done for you, the many blessings that he has bestowed on you, is it too much for him to ask us to be faithful? I don't think so. I don't think so. We're supposed to constantly, just be faithful in everything that we do, and just to watch and pray. Jesus talks about the master of the house, possibly arriving at the time that we don't expect. We have to be faithful. Being faithful is not just, a flash in the pan. It's not just, no. We know that, there will be ups and downs in life. In life, we all have those moments. Nobody's perfect. But through it all, through all the imperfection, through all the moments of all the lapsed moments that we have, we still need to persevere. We still need to jump back in, and just keep faithful, and keep watch, and keep praying. Going the distance is not easy. I say all the time, a lot of people think that being Christian is a walk in the park. It's not a walk in the park. It is not a walk in the park. It's not easy. It's not easy, but it's a beautiful journey. It's not easy, but it is a beautiful journey. So if Jesus knocked on your door today, would you be ready and eager to receive him? Would you be ready and say, yes, I'm doing exactly what he asked me to do. I'm being faithful in everything that he asked me to do. Because he wants us to be prepared. He wants us to be prepared because he's coming at an hour that we do not expect. We do not know. He wants us to be prepared today, tomorrow. It could be any time. And when he comes, will you be ready? Be watchful and ready. Be watchful and ready. Be watchful and ready. So we need to know that in everything that we do in our lives, we need to constantly, well, first be faithful. No matter how hard it is, we persevere. But of course, I think the most important of all is just praying for the grace and the strength to stay in the zone, the grace and the strength to just keep moving and to be in God's will, to work in his plan and his purpose. Because we can't do it on our own, but with him, all things are possible. And so I just wanted to encourage you tonight. We just, a few short reflections that I had. Hopefully you're able to take something away tonight. One big thing, of course, that, hopefully you don't forget, but you can take away is fear is a liar. Fear is a liar. It doesn't matter what, it's a great tool that the enemy uses to try to just cripple you. So I'm hoping that you would be able to stand up today and say, no, not today, devil. Fear, you're not going to rule me. You're not going to own me today. I am standing on God's words. So be that person today who is just going to say, I would just do it. I would just do it. I don't mind, or I don't care if it's not perfect. I don't care if everything's not in place. I don't care if I don't have the funds or the resources or whatever I need, or I think that I need in order to accomplish it. I don't care. I'm going to go ahead and do it and trust that God will make a way for me. I'm going to trust that God will make it all work out. Hopefully you get to that point where you can actually say that to yourself, and that's my prayer for you tonight. To just declare today that fear is a liar. Don't let fear hold you down. Whatever it is that's on your heart to accomplish, go out there and accomplish it. Just start. Just go ahead and do it. Just go ahead and do it. Also, another thing, another take home is watch and pray. Watch and pray. Watch and pray. Be faithful in everything that you do. Watch and pray, because he is coming at an hour that you do not expect, and you don't want him to come, and you don't want to be caught off guard. You do not want to be caught off guard. So in everything that you do today in your life, at your job, everywhere, and that's why I talk about, that's what Faith Matters is about. Like, how are we living our daily Christian lives 24/7? We should not just be Christians on Sunday, but we should be Christians every single day of our lives, because that is our identity. That's who we are. We're called to be Christ-like. We're Christians, but we do, we have jobs, we're parents, we go to stores, we go to places. So we should be Christian all the time. We should be Christian all the time in our jobs. So watch and pray in everything that you do. Also, if today you hear his voice, harden not your heart. Do not harden your heart. Don't let the distractions of the world harden your hearts from hearing God's voice. Don't let the distractions of the world harden your heart from hearing him, because he's always there. He's always whispering to us. He's always nudging us. But if we let the distractions harden our hearts, we're never going to hear him. We're never going to be able to walk in the path that he's laid out for us. So if today you hear his voice, harden not your hearts. Will you listen to the world, to the noise of the world, to the distraction of the world, or would you listen to the creator of the world? I don't know about you, but I will listen to the creator of the world. So hopefully you can take that tonight, and you'll be blessed by it, and just apply it in your own life and everything that you do. So jumping back again to my whole exciting event that's coming up. It's actually on my Facebook page, but it's next Sunday at 5 p.m. I believe. It's just an event that I'm officially launching, like just literally the business and everything that I've been doing, that I've had in the works. So please, if you can support, I'd greatly appreciate that. It's something to. It's going to be an encouraging evening where we talk about, or we encourage one another to see, because sometimes somebody has a story to share or something that they're going through, and you're like, oh wait, I feel that same way, or I'm going through the same thing. But just to be there and just to encourage and support one another, that's what it's all about. I also have like great I have great giveaways, and gifts that I will be giving out that day. So I probably post the information on our web on the Gospel FM Facebook page as well, so you guys can have it and be privy to it as well. I'm also going to. I've also started off my podcast again because it was a little bit of a break. I don't know if I should call it a break. It was a long break, but I started again. There's new content on there. I'm still working on it, but there's new content on there. So if you can, just go to Podbeam and download the Podbeam app. You'll be able to subscribe to my podcast, which is My 2 Cents Plus podcast. It's My 2 Cents Plus podcast. And yeah, there's great reflections actually on there. So a lot of exciting things going on, a lot of exciting things happening. And so before I leave, I want to just remind you again that we are listener supported. It's because of your generosity that we do what we do. There's a lot that goes on behind the scenes, to run a radio station. We've got light, there's a lot of equipment going on, that need to be taken care of. And so for those who've been supporting, thank you all so much. Because of your support that we're able to, thanks Yaya for posting that, that we're able to come on the air and do what we're doing right now. So thank you all so much for your support. If you haven't supported, you're on the fence about it, prayerfully consider being a supporter today. It's a great way to give. It's a good feeling when you sow into God's kingdom, because we're all in this advancement of the kingdom together. We can't do it on our own, but we rely on you and your support and your generosity in order to carry on the mission. I know that I speak for the entire team when I say we are so grateful, we're so thankful to all of you for all that you do for us and for this radio station. So on that note, I want to say thank you all so much for coming on this evening and just spending the time with me. Join, of course, Pastor Steve tomorrow morning on the Pastor Steve Show from 8 to 10. Join Sister Crescent tomorrow evening at 7:30 for Speak the Word with Reverend Crescent Hesed. It's always a great time with her, just hearing her teachings on the Bible. And so please joining if you can tomorrow at 7:30, of course, in the morning, and then at 7:30 at night for Speak the Word. And the regular programming throughout the week, it is Ask the Pastor on Wednesday, where we have Pastor Steve and Pastor Henry, and Yeye comes in on Thursday as always at 6:30 for Yes with Yessie, and of course Fun Friday, and then we're going to do it all over again. So again, thank you all so much for coming on this evening. To family and friends on newseasonfm.com, thank you. Those listening on the FM dial 89.1 FM, thank you so much. For those on YouTube, I want to say thank you. And of course, mi familia in the room, thank you so much for coming on this evening. Sister Marcia, thank you. Sister Crescent, yay, of course. Akil, Pastor Steve, thank you all so much for coming on. Sister Laurel, Brother Philip, Nijay, thank you. If I miss any, Mommy Jasmine, can't miss my Mommy Jasmine. Thank you so much for coming on. If I missed you, I apologize, but I do appreciate you coming on this evening. And taking us out tonight will be Greater is Coming. Greater is always coming. Like, never ever forget that whatever situation you're going through, if you feel it's crushing you, know that He's bringing new wine out of you. Greater is coming. It is in the crushing. It's in the crushing that new wine comes out. So Greater is coming. So you all have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful rest of the week. And we'll see you all again, God's willing, next Monday.
If it had not been for the beating, I would have never knew how anointed I would be. Oh yeah. If it had not been for the pressing, I wouldn't be able to walk into my destiny. He's preparing me, preparing me, preparing me for greater. I feel a shaking in the spirit. I feel a beating in the spirit. Oh, I feel a pressing in the spirit, preparing me for greater. I feel a shaking in the spirit. Oh, I feel a beating in the spirit. Oh yeah, I feel a pressing in the spirit, preparing me for greater. If it had not been for the strength, I never would have been ready for the making. If it had not been for the beating, if it had not been for the beating, I would have known. I would have never knew how anointed I would be. If it had not been, if it had not been for the press, I wouldn't be able to walk into my destiny. He's allowing it to grow. He's preparing me for my greater. Yeah. I feel a shaking in the spirit. I feel a beating. I feel a beating in the spirit. I feel a pressing. Oh yeah. He's preparing me for greater. Yes, he is. I feel a shaking. Oh yeah. Yes, I do. I feel a beating. I feel a beating in the spirit. I feel a pressing. I feel a pressing in the spirit. He's preparing me for greater. Maybe all the afflictions of the righteous, but the Lord delivered them out of them all. Because your greater is coming. Greater is coming. Wanna let you know, greater is coming. Yes, yes. Said I know that my greater is coming. Can you just lift your hand and say, greater is coming. Eyes haven't seen, ears haven't heard. My greater is coming. My greater is coming. I feel a shaking in the spirit. God knows. Feel a beating in the spirit. I feel a pressing in the spirit.